All right, welcome back to another one of our film reviews. Today, we are breaking down the Raiders, specifically rookie tight end Michael Myers' performance against the Denver Broncos. A lot of good stuff talking about the young tight end and the Raiders blocking up front. Some interesting things to go through. So a lot of good stuff to go through. A lot of, I think, positive movement behind the Raiders, at least in terms of Meyer and their offensive line. But before we get into that, I want to remind everyone to leave us a like and a comment, to give us some feedback in the comment section below. Or if there's a specific player you want us to break down, make sure you let us know. But without further ado, let's get right into the film. All right, so we're going to open up here with sort of a standard kind of power concept. And what I mean by power is we're going to get double team actions here up to backside linebacker. We're going to get block backs here. We're going to get a pulling guard. And we're going to get the fullback who's actually going to come in motion and kick out the outside linebacker / defensive end. And the most important element on this play is that this double team right here against number 91 for the Denver Broncos has to get movement. And that's going to be on the right tackle. And of course, the rookie Michael Mayer right here. Let's see how he does in the red zone here. All right. Fullback goes in motion. Again, we're going to have the kick out block right here. We got the guard pulling. Check out this double team right here. This is really good stuff early on. Boom. Oh my goodness. A lot of people were comparing this guy saying, well, maybe he can be the next Gronk. Obviously, McDaniels coached Gronk in New England. This kind of impact block right here is very reminiscent of Gronkowski. Look at that dislocation. Again, number 91, he's basically trying to work over to the C gap, it looks like, in between the right tackle and the tight end. You see him take a step to the left there, or at least head up, maybe two gap this, maybe play B and C. But look what he does here. Look at where he ends up. 6-7 yards over. That is outstanding work in this double team right here. Look at that dislocation. 91 doesn't even know what hit him. He's staggering all over the place. Looks really good there, except the last part of it. And this is rookie mistake here. Come off. You got to get that backside linebacker. If he comes off at the right time or comes off at all, frankly, it's probably a touchdown. In fact, it's pretty much a guaranteed touchdown because they have it blocked up everywhere else. Look at that. Kick out block, great. Pulling guard, great. Everyone on the backside is cut off. You got Myers right there up on the safety. If he comes off earlier and gets a hand on 49, so that way he's not there, he scores here. He being Jacobs. He has to lower his head and get what he can, which is just a couple yards in the red zone. Could have been a touchdown. Great movement. Great physical strength right there. Now, and I will say this, he could have potentially been coached, game planned, hey, stay on the double team. We'll let Jacobs deal with the backside linebacker. I kind of doubt it, but there is a chance that was their game plan right there for that specific play. But again, he's got to come off, I think. But I tell you what, that's a heck of a double team from the rookie tight end.
Yeah, Nick, they're both wearing 87 as in Meyer and Gronk. I don't think that is a coincidence. This guy looks very, very impactful as a blocker. He's a big dude, 6'4", 265. And this was one of his strengths coming out of Notre Dame. He had an incredible run blocking grade, 82.1 coming out of college. And not only that, he had a great receiving grade as well. But that 82.1 run blocking grade, I think that shows up on the film right here, Nick, wouldn't you say so? Meyer just looks extremely impactful as a run blocker.
He is a physical dude. He runs his feet and he's a competitor. And we got some great film coming up showcasing more of that. But I tell you what, this guy isn't just a body out there just throwing himself out there just to see what happens. He wants to run block. He wants to punish other human beings. And with that kind of mentality, he's got a bright future in this offense. All right, on the previous play, we showed Meyer at the point of attack on a double team. Here, he's actually going to wrap around as they run another kind of power concept. We're going to get a double team here to the linebacker. We're going to get sort of base blocks everywhere else. Block backs there, and we're going to get the guard to pull and kick out the end man on the line of scrimmage. So it's a very similar running game concept as the previous play. It's just a different formations and some of the responsibilities has switched. Again, this double team is the key block, but we're going to need these two pullers. I should say the one pulling guard and Meyer coming across to do their job as well. This is sort of an interesting dynamic, what happens on this play. Meyer does his job, but we're going to see what happens when one of the other offensive linemen doesn't and what it forces Josh Jacobs to do. All right, Meyer comes in motion. We see right there, we see the pulling guard going to kick him out. Meyer's about to ramp for the linebacker. We see the double team action here, working up to the backside. That's really good right there. We talked about the previous play. Meyer needed to come off. That's what it's supposed to look like right there. That's a great double team, great come off. I believe that's Colton Miller. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's a really nice job on this double team. Everything looks good, except the guard kind of screws it up. Myers keeping it really close to the line of scrimmage, keeping it tight, coming up. He's in a position to get that linebacker. Again, the play is designed to essentially run right here and then maybe work itself out past the line of scrimmage. But you want to stay as close to this double team as possible. But what happens, and this is all it takes in a running play sometimes, is this guard doesn't kick him out. He gets squared up right there. And one of the things where offensive linemen are taught to do when they pull in these situations is if this guy, you're the guy you're trying to pull and kick out, if he goes inside, they say wrap him, hook him, log him is the terminology you hear used. And a running back, when he thinks he sees a log block, he wants to bounce outside and follow the outside of the log block. Here's the thing, though, because it's a power concept, the entire scheme is for it to go inside. So it should never really truly be logged. You should always be trying to dig him out if you're the guard. And as a running back, you should never really try and bounce it outside because all of your blocking is designed to create a seal everything to the inside and then a couple kick out blocks. And you're going to see what happened here. Jacobs bounces it outside. He's got no help. Meyer can't get out there because of it. Ends up being not a very good play. This is not a great job by the pulling guard, obviously. I would like Jacobs to just keep it really tight, follow Meyer, and I still think it's a touchdown. I mean, freeze framing right there. Let me back up just a smidge, actually. Right there. If Jacobs keeps it really close to this double team and follows Meyer, I think he scores. I think it's pretty easily he scores. I don't think Cooper, he's a heck of a player. We're going to talk about him more later for the Denver Broncos. I don't think he's able to play off that block to make a play at the line of scrimmage. I think Meyer's got a clear shot at 49. This double team was good. I think this is a touchdown. But again, it is the little things. I want Jacobs to be more physical. I want this guard to do a better job, but we can't log him here. We can't bounce it outside. We got to kick him out. We got to stay inside if you're the running back, because guess what? You got this rookie tight end coming in motion, and he's going to deliver a kill shot on 49, inside run. It should be a touchdown. The plays are there for the Raiders. They're this close to being a little bit more consistent, and Meyer's adding to that equation. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, Nick. And the thing that really stands out to me, and I'm pretty sure you'll agree with this, is I love that Meyer, even though when he knows he's probably not going to get there, Cooper is right in the way. It kind of trips him up, slows him down. He's not going to be able to get around. And he can kind of see Jacobs out of the corner of his eye breaking around the outside, knows he's going to get taken. He never stops pursuing the linebacker. He keeps going, and he even dives at him to try to make some semblance of a play, even though it was pretty much a certainty that he wasn't going to be able to make the block at this point. And I love that he is still competing, still out there, even though the play didn't go the way that it was supposed to go. He just shows, like you said, that willingness to block, the want to get out there and lay a hit on somebody. So you got to take out something positive from a play like this, where he wasn't the guy that necessarily messed it up.
Yeah, you bring up a great point there, because I guarantee you after the game in the film room, the running backs film room or in the offensive meeting room, whenever they go through it, they're going to look and say, hey, Jacobs, look at 87. Look how hard he's playing. Look at that energy. Follow him. We know the pulling guard didn't do great, but next time follow 87, because he's going to play hard. He's going to run his 3 feet. He's going to be physical. He's going to give you, the running back, a chance. And Josh Jacobs is going to see this. And we actually have some film coming up a little bit later of Jacobs following Meyer with a lot of great success. So when you see this effort play, it really means something, because that breeds a lot of faith in the rest of the guys. All right, so the first 2 plays with Meyer, we showed him at a double team block at the point of attack. We also showed him wrapping for a linebacker, showing some good stuff on the first 2 plays, talking about the Raiders blocking schemes up front as well. Here we've just got a straight downhill physical mano-a-mano kind of scheme. And we got Meyer, tight end right there, number 87. He's going one-on-one base block style against Cooper, number 0 for the Denver Broncos, who is a heck of a player. I tell you what, this guy is really good at football, really good run defender. I like the way he plays. I think he's a really nice player for the Broncos. I'm sure Broncos fans really like him as well. But this is just a downhill aggressive running scheme. We're going to get just sort of back blocks here on the backside here. We're going to get a double team up here to the backside linebacker. And just a base block right there. Fullback's going to try and filter through this and lead here. A running back's just going to follow anything and run to daylight. It's a really good play. It's a really physical run. It's only about a 4 or 5 yard run, but just the physical nature of it really dictates the tempo of the game. I kind of like these plays, but I tell you what, watch what these 2 do here. This is a great matchup, and this is just Meyer showing his toughness, his physical nature, and his talent against a really good defender. Boom. Gets popped a little bit, right? Cooper's good. By the way, this is a tough stance to run block out of, by the way, because you're kind of, you don't have your hand in the dirt. Your feet are kind of flat footed. You can't get a good step forward. This is tough against a good run defender. So when you're blocking like a tight end in this stance, you're always going to get popped a little bit. But he gets popped and then keeps driving his feet, keeps working. Guy ends up on the ground. He trips a little bit and then drives him a little bit at the end. Does his job. Is it perfect? Is it textbook? There's some things to clean up like always, right? But I tell you what I love about this? I love the nastiness of it. The physical drive, grab cloth, push him, drive him into the dirt. And hear the end of it. Watch Cooper. He's staring at him. He's all upset. I tell you what, you're doing a good job as a blocker, offense lineman, tight end, whatever, when the defensive players are complaining. That's how you know right there. When defensive players upset and screaming and yelling, whining and moaning, you're winning the battle. That's a really physical play from the young tight end there. Good job up front by the Broncos, picking up the blitz on the backside. Everybody blocks back. Fullback goes through pretty good, gets on 49. Real physical run. Could have been a little bit better. But again, it's these kind of runs that sort of dictate the tempo throughout a game. And Meyer's certainly adding it to here. I really like this rep from the rookie tight end.
Yeah, Nick, I think we see something here that's really interesting and comparable to the last play that we showed. But in that play, Cooper was also a factor, but he wasn't able to get the guard wasn't able to block Cooper properly, kind of tripped up Meyer. When Meyer takes things into his own hands, we see here, he still is always fighting, even though, like you see at the beginning, you pointed out, he gets popped back just a little bit. When the very initial contact doesn't go his way, it doesn't dissuade Meyer. He's ready to go. He keeps driving, and he finishes through the play all the way again. And I think that's just a testament to the kind of guy that we've been saying that he is. He is a very tough blocker. He always keeps his feet moving. He always keeps going. And even when things start out bad, this is a guy that's going to finish all the way through. And I think that's all you can ask out of a tight end run blocking, isn't it?
Obviously. I mean, it's one of those things you sort of expect high levels of effort. You don't always get it. But the reality is, a lot of times it's a tough matchup. Some of these tight ends are more receiving threats. Some of these guys are more blockers. To have a guy who can be both is rare. And that kind of leads me directly into the next play here, because this is the Raiders' other tight end coming up on this next one right there. And you're going to see number 81. I believe that's Austin Hooper right there. Quality tight end, veteran guy, not a scrub at all. Decent blocker, decent receiver, bit around the block a lot. He's matched up one-on-one with Cooper. Let's compare this rep with what Meyer did against Cooper on the previous play. Sort of base block, driven back on his butt right there. 81 is not a great rep there. And again, 81's no scrub. He's been around the block. He's a solid football player, won a lot of games, productive player, good team guy. This just shows how good Cooper is, how physical he is, how tough he is. Again, compare this effort, this block, to what Meyer did on the previous play. Again, you've got veteran savvy tight end getting destroyed. Not great. If we back it up all the way to the previous play, all the way back, rewinding here, compare that to this. Night and day. Physical, tough, bright future for the young guy. All right, the Raiders have run a lot of different power kind of schemes against the Denver Broncos, and here's another one that I think is really cool. It's a really good design. The Raiders kind of run the same play, but they run it a lot of different ways, really creative stuff. And this is just sort of another power concept, like I said. So we're going to get a double team right here, working up to the backside linebacker. We're going to get back blocks here. We're going to get kind of what I call an anchor down by the right tackle. He's going to check the B gap, then work out. We're going to get sort of a base block, down block from the center. And we're going to have the fullback kind of wrap for the play side linebacker. And you're going to see 87. He's off the screen, but he's going to come in motion at the snap. And he's got to kick out outside linebacker, edge player right there. Key thing for Meyer, coming in motion here. Again, he's off the screen. He's got to get his head upfield. He's got to kick him out. He's got to create a hole. You guys can see the natural hole where it's going to develop right here. That's where Jacobs' target should be. Let's see how it all shakes out. So again, you see Meyer in motion right there. There's the snap. We got the double team. Meyer's coming around, gets the kick out. Again, upfield. I love his head upfield. Again, technique is at perfect. Moving with his hands. He's kind of throwing his shoulder in there, but he's driving his feet. He's created the seam. You can kind of see it right there for me. And here's what I don't get. And this is one of the things that really frustrates me about Josh Jacobs sometimes. Great player, phenomenal player. Follow your blocks. The hole is there. I know the Broncos blitz, so it looks weird, but they pick it up. Right? This double team right here is supposed to work to the backside linebacker, but 66 picks up play side. 45 comes up, or 66 picks up pin, 74 works up to backside, 45 actually ends up getting in between the defensive tackle and the running back. So again, these two guys here were responsible for those two. 45 was responsible for him. But how it works out is basically those same three guys for the Raiders end up accounting for all three of these guys for the Broncos. We get the kick out from Meyer. It's a really solid job. The play is there. Right? Everyone's picked up. 74 gets on the backside linebacker. I mean, right here. Imagine if Josh Jacobs is falling 45 right now. You've got wide receiver downfield, one-on-one in the safety. This is a touchdown probably, or at least a 30, 40-yard run. Why are you bouncing outside? Follow your blocks, Josh Jacobs. And here's what happens. You have your tight end here. He thinks he's a kick out, so he's going in there to kick out this guy. He grabs him to block. Running back bounces it outside for some reason. Ref can see cloth, throws the flag. The penalty was called on Meyer. This is on Josh Jacobs. This should be a huge play. This is the thing that frustrates me about the Raiders. They have the talent. They execute it pretty well up front. It's good play design, good play call. Broncos are good defense. They block it up really well. Your star player, just follow it. Just trust it. You'll be successful. Because you got a young guy in motion here doing a great job against Gregory. Gives him a chance. Offensive line does everything they can. This is a really nice play. Meyer does a really nice job. But, man, I just want a little bit more out of Josh Jacobs here. Just follow your blocks.
Yeah, Nick. And, thankfully for the Raiders, they do end up winning this game. And it was a tight game down to the wire. But to the chagrin of the effort of a guy like Meyer, this game should have had, like we're seeing, at least 2-3 more touchdowns in it. I think this is a game that could have gotten a lot more explosive if they follow Meyer's blocks, because this is a guy who's putting in the effort every single play. And I just keep seeing the same things that you're showing over and over again. It just looks like there's not a lot of confidence in the blocking scheme, where when Meyer has been added to this team, he is a huge, huge benefit in the blocking game, especially in run blocking schemes. And they should really lean on his side of the play more, and Jacobs has to trust him more. Because this guy looks like he can add a few more touchdowns every single game if Jacobs would follow his blocks, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, and I'm hoping in the film room, and I'm pretty much guarantee this is some level of this conversation is happening, is they're saying, look, dude, talking to Josh Jacobs, follow these guys. Sometimes they're going to screw up and it's not going to be there, but trust it. Meyer knows what he's doing. This offensive line is doing a solid job. Fullback is playing hard. Follow it. Follow it up the seam. You've got it. It's a huge play. You got a wide receiver on the free safety. This is going to be a big time play. Follow your blocks. Again, the Raiders have the ability and the offensive play calling. I know a lot of people don't like Josh McDaniels, and for a lot of good reasons, but there's been a lot of good play calls, a lot of good structure against the Broncos. Josh Jacobs just follows some of it. There's a lot of big plays to be had. All right, here we go. We're in the fourth quarter. Raiders winning 17-16. Here, trying to end the game with a long time-consuming drive, running the ball, killing the clock. Broncos doing everything they can to stop the run. This is power football at its finest. It's almost as if the Raiders got better as the game went on. I love this physical nature of this play. We're going to get back blocks here on the backside of this play from the offensive line. We're going to get a double team on the play side up to the backside linebacker. Meyer right here, mano-a-mano, one-on-one against Randy Gregory. The fullback's going to kind of filter through this, get up on 49. Josh Jacobs just has to follow the fullback and follow the blocks here on the play side to get what he can. Again, Broncos doing everything they can to stop the run, to give their offense another shot. Raiders trying to run the ball down their throat. Let's see how it shakes out. Good back blocks on the backside. Again, Broncos are run blitzing. It's a double team. It's a double team right there. But again, you see the guy blitz, you got to come off. They do. They pick it up. Nicely done up front. 45 filters through it all, gets on 49. But here's the real star of the show. Michael Meyer gets on Randy Gregory and keeps driving him, keeps driving him, keeps driving him. We talk about feet. We talk about effort. We talk about 1-2. That's what you see right there. And I tell you what, my favorite part about this all is look at Josh Jacobs. Look where he's going. Look at his patience. Look who's running behind for all kinds of success. This is awesome stuff up front. And by the running back too. Talked about Josh Jacobs a few times today, but I tell you what, love this rep from everybody, from Meyer, offensive line, fullback, running back, because this is a good really good Broncos defense, and they are all out on stopping the run, and you still run it down their throats. That's really good stuff. That's physical winning football. This is how the Raiders can be a playoff team. I am not kidding you, Raiders fans. I know a lot of you guys tend to be pessimistic about this season, but this is how you can win football games. You are good enough up front with Meyer, better than expected offensive line. Josh Jacobs, if he follows his blocks. This is a good run defense trying to stop you in its tracks late in the game, and you literally run it down their throats. Where do you start at the about 2 yards, or I think that's the 42-yard line right there. Look where you end up. Look where Josh Jacobs ends up, following his blocks, running downhill, 48, 49, 6-7 yard run right down their throat. Great job up front. Meyer driving Randy Gregory, fullback on the linebacker. This is old school power football, and you are dominating the Denver Broncos in all phases because of it. You want to win a lot of games this year? If you're a Raiders fan, this is going to be why. I think they can do it because of plays like this and because of the emergence of rookies like Michael Meyer.
Yeah, Nick. And I think the reps that he has gone against Randy Gregory game in, game out, or play in, play out rather, just shows he's worn Gregory down. I think there's been a persistence by Meyer. He's just going 100% every play. I think I recently heard Steve Smith, senior, former Carolina Panther, former Baltimore Raven, talking about how players in the NFL, they go a certain number of plays all out, especially in the receivers. He's like, yeah, I'll give you 20 routes a game that I'm running full speed, and the other ones I'm going to tempo pace myself. It seems that Meyer is blocking at full speed 100% of the time. It's very incredible to watch. And going against Gregory, I'm sure it tires him out, and this is how he's driving him back, putting him on his butt. I just think things like this are why this guy is going to be a phenomenal piece to this Raiders team going forward, wouldn't you say?
You know, you see it up front with all these guys, right? Getting people on the ground, driving people, playing kind of nasty. That attitude is infectious. It's how you win football games. Look, everyone wants to talk about Patrick Mahomes. Everyone wants to talk about Josh Allen. Everyone talks about the quarterback position, rightly so. I mean, it's extremely important. But one of the reasons teams like the 49ers are really good, the Philadelphia Eagles, this is what they do. They line up, they play hard, they play physical, their tight ends are tough like Michael Meyer, and they drive people off the football, and they dictate their will. Again, Raiders fans, you can win with this up front. And you did win, and you'll continue to win if you get this. If Josh Jacobs follows Michael Meyer, if your offensive line picks up these blitzes and plays physical and plays hard, you will be successful.